First Corinthians 13:7. Bearing all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the elect out there scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and to you sincere believers. This is the brother Hadabyar from the GMS Toronto camp coming back at you with another one. And this is just going to be a little quick hit, just to endure. That sometimes we need these videos, these lessons for that boost to just continue to endure in all things. Endure in all things and trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because with him, there everything is possible. With Yahushai, there's ultimately, you're gonna win. We gotta take we gotta take our L's on this side. We're gonna be tried. The Lord is gonna work us. He's gonna put us through many different things. But as long as we endure and keep pushing, the victory, because Yahushua has a victory. So as long as we continue to believe on him, then we're gonna win. We're gonna be victorious as well. And it's easier said than done. And I'm making this video, even for myself, telling myself to also keep enduring, because we're all going through it. We're all going through, like even today, I was just meditating. I was just like, damn, we're just hasting onto the day when Yahushua returns, because it's hard. It's hard to it's hard when you go through so many things, but we don't give up. That's the thing. You got to keep pushing, and ultimately, got to keep the faith. So this is 1 Corinthians 13:7. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. And that at the end of the day, that just means keep the faith. Keep the faith, and don't give up. Just take it like a champ. And like I said, making this video for myself first and foremost. Because you gotta look in the mirror, and you like they say in the word, you gotta practice what you preach. So just gotta keep pushing, because the Lord has some serious rewards for his elect that endure to the end. This is James 1 in the NLT, verse 12. Happy are those who remain faithful under trials. Because you'll go through your things, and it takes some serious discipline to endure trials and still remain happy, faithful. That takes practice. Like I said, that takes discipline, because people look at you dumb for being happy when you're going through it. But ultimately, we understand who's in control of all this. We understand that it is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's the director. And he's gonna make us go through whatever it is that he sees fit. So happy are those who remain faithful under trials, because when they succeed in passing such a test, they will receive as their reward the life which the Most High has promised to those who loved him. So there's a serious reward coming, and going through whatever, enduring whatever it is that we have to endure. It just makes the victory, that much sweeter. And it just makes you just appreciate it much more because of Lord willing, I make it onto those chariots. Lord willing, and the Lord finds grace in me, in the times of Jacob's trouble. I'm gonna look back at certain moments of my life and be grateful that the Lord had put me through whatever it is that He put me through. In order to build me up spiritually. It's like I remember back in school, you know, um, you know, putting your all into this project, the final exam, the one that's going to be worth 75% of your mark, and you really put your all into it, and you hand in your work, and you score high. You score high, and then you get a higher mark, and it's pleasing, you know. You get that sigh of relief, like even though you put your all into it, the end result was good. And that's the same within this truth, within this walk. We got to put our all into it, and then as long as we do that, keep our integrity and our humility and sincerity, and really trust and believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, when we make it through, Lord willing, it's gonna feel, there's no way to explain that feeling. That feeling of making onto the chariots, that feeling of seeing your seeds, your loved ones, if the Lord finds mercy upon them, seeing the brothers, seeing the brothers that you were enduring in this truth, beside, the brothers that you were beside, who were beside you in this truth, and I don't mean like physically beside you, because the hopeful elect, they're scattered, throughout the four corners of the earth, but we're all of one mindset. We all believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and we all we're all leveling up through the teachings of our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and to make it onto the end. Yeah, it's just gonna feel, beautiful. Verse 13: If we are tempted by such trials, we must not say, this temptation comes from the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted by evil, and He Himself tempts no one. Yeah, so the point was 12. This is 2 Timothy 4:7. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at the day, and not to me only, but unto all of them that love His appearing. So, like what I said, making up, getting into those chariots, receiving that crown, we're we're gonna be amongst all the brothers that endured, all the other men who said no to the MOTB, who said no to Esau's system, and believe it and trust it in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know, because, you know, we're one body, you know, we're all of one body. We all believe in one power, in one doctrine. So those, you know, those ones who, you know, fight the good fight, you know, finish this race and death to the end, are going to be crowned, you know, and we're going to be crowned with, you know, a crown that's going to last forever and ever and ever and ever, you know, for eternity. And, you know, and then we're going to have a seat in judging the world to come, you know. Matthew 24:13, but he that shall endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So, you know, the point of the point of the lesson is just, you know, keep enduring. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't let these people of the world, you know, weigh you down, get in your head, distract you from what it is that we're trying to accomplish. You know, don't let the trials and tribulations of your life tear you down and make you want to give up. You know, make you want to throw in the towel. You know, because you know, sometimes those demons get on you. They get on your mind. You be going through so much shit. You know, you just feel like fuck. You know, when is it gonna end? You know, but that's the thing, like, and that's why this truth is so beautiful, because we know that what's to come is gonna be greater, is gonna, you know, this is all just gonna feel like a bad dream. You know, it's just gonna feel like a bad dream that we finally waking up from, and get to just be at peace forever. You know, be at peace and be one with Yahweh Shai. You know, have the law, statutes, commandments, be perfect, never going off, never having a care in the world. You know, I'm a, you know, I'll admit it. I'm, you know, I'm a man who sometimes, you know, I worry way too much. You know, I get in my own head, and that, you know, that's something I'm trying to, you know, get rid of, and pray to Yahweh Shem Shai to, you know, get that demon off of me. You know, because, you know, I just, you know, I hate it, but, you know, I'm gonna admit it. Like, I just overanalyze, you know, so much things within my life, not, you know, feeling like I can control everything when when clearly I can't. You know, because I'm just overthink. You know, sometimes I just overthink too much, and I just need to just, you know, lay back a little, relax. You know, and just let Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, steer the way. You know, and a lot of that goes through just, you know, just things of this world. You know, sometimes it fucks with your mental a little bit. You know, and that's why the word is just a comfort. You know, it's just a comfort, and you just remember, you gather yourself, and then you keep pushing, and keep going until the end. You know, this we're in a fight that we can't give up in. You know, that's why I just said you gotta fight the good fight of faith. You know, you gotta keep pushing, keep going until the end. You know, the ones who are gonna do the elect. You know, the elect are not pushovers. The elect are not. You know, they're not spiritually weak. You know, the elect are gonna be men who have endured many different things. You know, and never gave up, and continued into the end. And that's what we strive to be. That's what we hope to be. So that's why Matthew 24:13, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. You know, and Yahweh Shai, you know, he's that Savior. Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must go through much tribulation to enter the kingdom. We got to go through it. There's no easy route. There's no easy route to glory. Yahushua had to come here, and he had to go through it. So we have to do the same. And we have to have that faith. That faith is so important. Without faith, you're dead. If you do not have faith in Yahweh Hashem Shai, you're done. Like that's that backbone. It's faith. It's so important. Because with faith, everything else just will fall into place. The fear, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the discipline, the integrity, it's the sincerity, all these things will fall in line once that faith is on point. And once your faith is on point, you can't be, nothing can shake you. Nothing will care, nothing will throw you, nothing will get you out of this truth, because that faith in Yahweh Hashem Shai is so strong. It's strong and it's powerful. So confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, that we must through much tribulation enter the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So just keep pushing, keep enduring. Don't give up. Don't let that the outside chatter of this world, weigh you down. We just need to remember that the power we serve. We're serving a God that controls everything. We're serving a power who created the heavens and the earth. We're serving a power that can't be beaten. And he's gonna make himself known very soon. Very soon. So just keep pushing and keep believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So that's going to do it for this lesson. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace, blessing, and safety to all the elect out there, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing.